Hey there, gorgeous. Welcome to the Moon Manifesting Podcast. It's Kyra, your favorite moon manifesting mama and business astrologer. Today, I am going to be sharing with you how to plan your life with the cosmos. And this episode is kind of really exciting because it's all to do with my newly launched 2023 Moon Manifesting Planner. I have this in my hands right now, so if you're listening like on Spotify or Apple or Google or somewhere else and you can't see that, but if you're watching on YouTube, hi, you can see it. I'm really excited to finally have this baby in my hands. This is the third annual moon planner that I have made. Each year I tweak it a bit, I add new things, I get really inspired and do different things to it. So this year's planner is chock-a-block full of astrology wisdom. It's got space for your daily tarot card. It's got menstrual tracking. It's got an extended year ahead ritual, and it's got all the sorts of things that you would expect to see in an astrological planner. It's got the daily moon sign and phase. It's got the void of course moon times. It's got astrological transits. It's got the Sabbats. If you're a pagan and you celebrate the wheel of the year, I've included those dates as well. And there's new and full moon rituals there, and that's not even all, you guys. Seriously, there is so much in this book. It's really your guide to planning your entire life with the cosmos and having it in one nice, neat place. So yeah, if you do want to get your hands on a copy of the 2023 Moon Manifesting Planner, it's now available directly on my website. That's kyrahowearth.com.au/planner. Or just click the link below in the show notes. Or you can also find the Moon Manifesting Planner on Amazon or other good bookstores near you. If you are having difficulty finding the Moon Manifesting Planner in your location, do let me know and I can point you in the right direction. You'll find it also in 3 different time zone versions. So the copy I have in my hand is of course the Australian edition because I'm here in Australia, but I've also created a special UK and Europe edition and a US edition. So they have not only the times are adjusted for the time zones over in those parts of the world, but the moon, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the moon looks differently in the northern hemisphere compared to the southern hemisphere. So the Australian edition is it's got the southern hemisphere moons, and the US and UK have the northern hemisphere moons. If that makes sense. If you weren't aware of that, then don't worry. Anyways, yeah, so how to plan your life with the cosmos. Of course, you can go out and get my planner, but I'm pretty much going to be walking you through exactly everything that's in this planner and how you can utilize that, whether you have the planner or not. But it is a really handy tool to have because then you just have everything here in your hands. So how to plan your life with the cosmos. Okay, so let's start off with looking at our longer term goals, because something that really helps me, and this is probably quite evident if you have the planner because there's a huge section for a year ahead ritual. It's all about setting long-term goals. Setting long-term goals has been so helpful for me because it helps me to achieve those bigger goals that I might get really overwhelmed at doing in a short term. But if I get a really long-term goal and break that down into smaller goals, then, by the end of the year, it's so easy. It's it was effortlessly manifested. So one way that I love to pick out my longer-term goals is by looking at where Jupiter is right now in the sky, what zodiac sign Jupiter is in, and where that falls on my chart, on my natal chart. So, for example, right now, moving into 2023, let's talk about 2023. Moving into 2023, Jupiter is going to be in Aries for a lot of the time. It's kind of going to go into Taurus for a bit there too. So looking at where Aries and, maybe the first few degrees of Taurus are on your natal chart, you can look at what house that is, and the houses tell us which area of our life that area of our chart is referring to. So if that's in your first house, then that could be to do with things like your branding or your appearance. Second house can be to do with your finances, your goals. Third house can be to do with communication. Fourth house can be to do with home and security. Fifth house can be to do with creativity and play. Sixth house can be to do with your health and daily routines. The seventh house can be to do with relationships. Eighth house is to do with making money and business, as well as like facing your fears and shadow work. Ninth house is to do with education and exploration. The 10th house is to do with your career and legacy. 11th house is to do with community and teamwork. And the 12th house is all about taking time off to rest and enjoy the deeper purpose of your life. So what I love to do each year is check in. Where is Jupiter on my natal chart? Because Jupiter takes roughly a year to move through a whole zodiac sign. So chances are Jupiter is probably going to be lingering in one of those houses for the entire year. So yeah, have a look on your natal chart. And if you haven't already got one, you can get one for free at astro.com. Or if you really have no idea, book in a reading with your favorite astrologer. That's me. You can book a reading on my website if you need any help decoding your chart. We can absolutely go through all of this stuff I'm talking about in this episode. And I can tell you exactly what's going on for you in the year ahead. But anyways, yeah, get your chart, find out where Aries and the first few degrees of Taurus are on your chart. And that area of your life is what's going to be coming up for you in the year ahead. So what that means is you can set your goals according to that area of your life. So for example, in 2022, Jupiter was really hovering in my 5th house, which is all to do with creativity. And so my long-term goal for 2022 was to create a tarot deck. And that really helped me to unleash my creativity. I got back into drawing on Photoshop, and I did a Photoshop course as well, and really got into illustrating and drawing and being creative. And that was really, really fun and really aligned with what I naturally wanted to do anyway. And so moving into next year, Jupiter's going to be hovering in my 6th house, which is to do with like daily routines and health. And one of my big goals for going into 2023 is to start traveling around Australia with my kids and my husband and our pets. And so that's obviously going to really shake up my daily routines. It's going to be crazy. But I'm leaning into that, and I know that it's going to help me grow because Jupiter is all about growth. So yeah, leaning into that energy. Wherever Jupiter is falling in on your chart for the year ahead, just lean into that energy and see what unfolds. So yeah, that's the first tip for planning your life in alignment with the cosmos, checking out where Jupiter is. So let's go like a little bit more smaller and look at monthly goals. So throughout the 2023 Moon Manifesting Planner, there is sections for your monthly goals. So I'm just opening up the planner now. I've opened to April. So you can see if you're watching on YouTube, there's a section here that tells you like about the full moon, the new moon in that month. There's a little blurb about like the energy of that month. And there's the transits, the astrological transits for the month, as well as a whole section to set your intentions and your goals for the month ahead. There are actually more monthly pages in the planner as well for choosing a herb and a crystal of the month. I love working with different crystals and herbs or like essential oils or whatever for the month because these can really anchor me into my goals. Like if I choose a crystal or herb that has that same sort of energy as what I want to manifest, it can really help me stay in that vibe. And it's also just a really fun way to connect with my spirituality and, lean into what sort of energies or, what I need support with for the month ahead. Because often that crystal or herb that I choose is really what I need to support my emotions or, whatever's coming up for the month ahead. So what I love to do for setting my goals for each month is, again, looking at my natal chart and looking at where the sun is falling on my natal chart for that month. So you can kind of break this down into like a simpler sort of form by looking at the 12 different zodiac signs and looking at where they fall on your chart and and that way you'll kind of be able to line up those zodiac seasons, like with the time of year, and be able to see what area of your life is naturally coming into focus by going back to those house systems I talked about a few minutes ago when I was talking about Jupiter. So yeah, having a look at where the sun is on your chart. So, for example, at the start of the year, the sun is in Capricorn. For the first 3 weeks of January, the sun's going to be moving through Capricorn. So, finding where Capricorn is on your chart. So, for me, Capricorn is in my second and third house. So, I know that during the first half of Capricorn season, so the end of December moving into the start of January, I'm going to be focused on the second house energy of money and my goals. And then moving in to the mid of January 2023, the sun's going to be moving into my third house, which is to do with communication. And so that's generally when I'm going to be focused on my social media or my marketing for the year ahead. Which is actually really accurate because every year in January, I will literally sit down and plan out my whole marketing for my business for the year ahead. So yeah, you can definitely go through and, do that process for every single month. And you don't necessarily need to sit down and do it now, but like each month, like just checking in, where is the sun transiting on my chart for the month ahead? Okay, it's, going through these houses, these are the areas of my life that I know I need to focus on, because that's naturally, what the universe is kind of guiding you towards focusing on anyway. So yeah, that's a really, that's how I plan my months, really generally, is by looking at where the sun is. And then you can go, looking at like even smaller at your day-to-day goals. And so something that I really use a lot when planning out my day-to-day life in alignment with the cosmos is the moon, because the moon is the fastest moving, planet, even though it's not really a planet, but the fastest moving thing in our skies that we keep track of. It's really easy to use that on a day-to-day basis. And the way that I use that is by checking in with what phase the moon is in, what zodiac sign the moon is in, and also looking out for something called void of course moon times. Now, if you've never heard of the void of course moon, I highly suggest that you go way back to episode 33 on the Moon Manifesting podcast, because in that episode, I explain everything you need to know about the void of course moons. But quite simply, this time, when the moon goes void of course, which happens, it can happen like 3 or 4 times a week. And when the moon is void of course, it can be like a really unproductive slump. I can't tell you how many times, I've heard from people and they've been like, oh, this didn't work out. And I'm just kind of like, well, the moon's void of course, it kind of, it wasn't going to work out anyway. It's like, since being aware of the moon void of course times and planning my life around those times, so I'm not doing anything important during those times, it's just made my life so much easier. And it means I get some regular downtime where I can meditate or do yoga or just, chill out in the bath for an hour or two, because, the moon's void, of course. But going back to like the day-to-day thing as well, using the moon phase can absolutely help you understand the energy. And like even looking at that like on a weekly basis, like, okay, the new moon's coming up this week. This is going to be a really good energy for setting new goals for the month ahead. Or, the full moon's coming up this week. This is a really good time for launching that new offering or for going out and having a party or whatever it might be, like utilizing that lunar energy. It really helps more flow in your life. It really can help you be more in tune with not only how you're naturally feeling, like you may notice that you're naturally more energized around the full moon, but it can also just, really help you find that flow so that you're not like go, go, go all the time. You're going to have those times in the month where, you don't have much on your schedule and you can take things at a slower pace, and then utilizing those high energy times to be more active. And so, looking at that on a more daily basis, knowing what sign, the zodiac sign that the moon is in each day can help you understand the natural sort of energies that may be coming up. So like when the moon is in Capricorn, like I've already spoken about that Capricorn energy in this episode, it's like, looking at those long-term goals. Capricorn energy, it's when we're quite ambitious, but like having that future focused vision, about what we want to manifest for the future. So that's when the moon's in Capricorn. For those few days, it might be a really good time to check in with those longer term goals. But if the moon is in like a Gemini, that might be a really good time for catching up with friends, or, talking on the phone, or going out for dinner with people, or whatever it might be, being social. So using the moon on a day-to-day basis can absolutely help you tune in to those sorts of energies and help you plan out your life so that you're working in flow with those energies and you're not like, going against it. And that's really what it's all about. That's really what the entire Moon Manifesting Planner is all about. It's helping you find that flow so that you're not, fighting against these energies that are happening naturally in the universe. You're more just going with the flow and you're in tune and everything just, goes really smoothly. So yeah, that's pretty much what the goal is here with planning your life in alignment with the cosmos. So I hope that this episode has been super helpful for you to understand how to plan out your yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals in alignment with the cosmos. Don't forget, you can get a copy of the 2023 Moon Manifesting Planner. The link is in the show notes below. It's available in all sorts of different places across the world. Be sure to get your hands on that and let me know if you do get your hands on a copy, because I would love to know. Like, share a photo on Instagram, tag me. I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see you with your planner and how you're using it to plan your life in alignment with the cosmos. So yeah, be sure to send me a message on Instagram at kyrahowearth.official. So I will speak with you all in the next episode of the Moon Manifesting Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give me a like, a subscribe, a follow, or even leave a review. I appreciate you guys so much for your reviews and your support. You guys mean the world. So stay magical, stay manifesting, and stay tuned. I will see you all in the next episode.